Right, hello bees. It's been a little while and I thought I'll do you a quick update from the apiary as to what's going on. And I'll be quite honest with you, things are not looking very good because, as you know, this year has been pretty terrible. It started off very badly in terms of the weather and it's pretty much continued throughout. Since the start, up until this point, it's, we've been in a drought for the last, I don't know, what is it now, 3-4 weeks. It's constant over 30 degrees Celsius, temperatures, and the linden, it didn't even blossom, as we were hoping that it would in its full capacity. Most trees in this forest, just under the acacia, there is a nice big forest here at the south end, and it's got plenty of linden trees, but driving past them, I did not really see what I wanted to see, and quite frankly, my car alarm is going off because I've got the little dog in there waiting for me. Okay, that's now off. All right. So yeah, the bad news is that the linden, as it shows inside the hives, did not produce enough nectar, for the bees to stack up, the full boxes with frames inside as, we were hoping. And I'm giving them another chance now because after the linden and, the summer heat, this is when the wildflowers, start to come out and the herbs on the mountains. So I'm going to give them a little while before really making a final decision as to, what's going to happen this year. But in the meantime, now that the main forage is gone and, the heat is, pretty bad, the most important thing at this stage for the beekeeper is to make sure that until the end of the year, he goes into the year with as many hives as possible with a laying queen and basically having a healthy, healthy colonies. Because right now, I don't know what's happened or why it happens, obviously still in the process of learning. I've asked, several colleagues, no one really has a definitive answer. Everyone's got an opinion more, on the matter. But I think it's the bees who decide that it's time for a change. So, a lot of the hives that, I've had the queens isolated in a special little cage. Well, they were stuck in there for about a month, right? And they were being fed, they were being looked after by the bees, and, all seemed well. So the time came I had to release the queens, because if you keep the queens isolated for too long, then the colony is going to start thinking that they haven't got a queen because of the lack of pheromones which are released when she lays eggs. They will start thinking they haven't got a queen, and they will lay queen cells and, raise another one. So very interestingly, I've had hives where the queen was inside the isolator and outside on the frames there were eggs being laid, which means there were two queens living simultaneously in the hive. So one had to be removed. But in other instances, I've had queens which were released from the isolator, and they were perfectly fine, they were fertile, so as soon as you release them, they should start laying straight away. 4 days later, doing my regular inspections, there is no queen to be seen anyway. And this is dangerous because if you don't manage them within, in time, they will turn into a drone-laying colony, and that will lead to their demise, basically. Because when the worker bees haven't got a queen around for long enough, or there are no fresh eggs, which you can take from another hive and put in, they will get the syndrome of thinking they are, all queens, and they'll start laying eggs which are not fertile. They can't be fertile, and they turn into drones. And drones, they are pretty useless, to be fair. So that way, that will lead to their demise. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing checks every 4 to 5 days, making sure that, there are queens everywhere. So you see there are some hives with a stone on top, and these hives are the ones which I'm, predominantly focusing on at the moment and raising new queens for them. So when it comes to, winter time, they'll go in fully prepared with a strong queen, and make sure that obviously they survive the winter. Give them the best chance. So yeah guys, that's what's happening over here. I'll be keeping you posted what's going on with the forage and everything else over here. Alright guys, have a good day. Speak to you soon.